All of you, I hope, have signed in, so we know that you guys were here to attend this. I also need for all of you to turn off your cell phones or silence your cell phones, please. Okay, at this point, I'd like everybody to get up. We're going to say a pledge of allegiance and flag. And it's in that back corner. We did not move it. Okay, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
It carries.
Okay, I'm reading from an agenda that I have in front of me, so we keep everything the way it's supposed to be. Just so everybody here knows, this is a voting meeting only, which means we will not be taking any questions from the audience. We will not be answering any questions. If you have questions, you can write them down. They'll be presented at the next board meeting. We will be reviewing some notes. At this time, I would like to introduce to you our election committee and our inspector-in-chief model washer up here.
Go to the models.
This is Rita Fick. I have Mary Haley over here hiding behind the curtain. And Mary, I said I would not say about how you're driving because you have a badge. So. We have sitting in the front row right here is Ann Maxwell. In the back, we have Earl Goldberg. Last but not least, what's your name again? Oh, Darlene Ryan. And I'll tell you, these ladies have been here since 6 o'clock this morning, counting ballots and looking at ballots and things. They've also been doing this for about the last 6 weeks for the mailings and the receiving, and every ballot that came in was entered into a box. It was a locked box. The only person who had a key for this was Mary Haley. So it's, it's theirs. So at this time, I think, Rita, you've got something to say? You always do, but... Wait, hang on a second. We need you to talk, so...
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Fortunately, we were able to establish a quorum this year. We had 592 lots. In order for a majority, we needed 297. We had 382 units vote by mail, 5 units in person, which is a 65% turnout, which is awesome. Probably 50 more than last year. So, quorum has been represented, and we're going to get back to counting.
Thank you. Okay, at this time I'd like to announce all the board seats that are open. There are 3 seats that are open. Up here we have John Schaefer, who's running for re-election. We have Scott Richberger, who's running for re-election. I'm looking for Michael Chase, he's out there someplace. He's back there in the corner running for re-election. Next to him is Tommy Gomez. And what did I say? Rich Gruber. And the other one is, what was your name again? Denise Peterson? I think that was it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5. Are there any nominations in here from the floor for anybody? They want to nominate anybody? Please, step up, come on. Okay, I guess not. All right. Last minute balloting, there are none. So you guys have whatever you have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, balloting is now closed. We're going to have Denise. By the way, if you notice, we're missing one person. He is out of town. He's been out of town for about 3 weeks. Mike Diaz had some business to take care of, and him and his wife had to leave for quite a while. They did not want to, but circumstances said he had to go. And he will be back. So I'm going to have Denise read the minutes from last year.
All right, good morning. Minutes from last year, March 21st, 2015. It was called to order by John Schaefer. In presence were John, Jerry McLeese, Don Lyman, and myself. A quorum was established. Jerry introduced the election committee, Rita Fick, Candace Williams, Kay Leffel, Denise Peterson, Mary Haley, and Ann Maxwell. Jerry then called on Rita Fick, who announced that we have 340 mailed ballots and 6 in person, which established a quorum. Jerry then explained that there are two-year terms available for the board seat, and since she is resigning, the person in third place would take over the remaining year of her term. Jerry asked for nominations from the floor, and there were none. Nominations were officially closed. Jerry then introduced the candidates running for the available seats. They were Ted Arnold, Mike Brown, Joe Crispino, Scott Rich Gruber, and Suzanne Smack. I called the friends. Jerry and myself, Jerry asked myself to adopt the minutes from the last annual meeting. I read the business minutes from 3/15 of 2014. After reading the minutes, I asked for a motion to adopt them. Jerry made the motion and John seconded. The minutes were approved and adopted. John then read his year-end letter, which talked about the previous 12 months, finishing holes 6 and 7, installing a new irrigation system. In the midst of completing the electrical repairs on phase 1 and 2, he talked about the loss of Tony as our GM and our new GM Calvin, who's been with us at that time 12 months. He talked about the negotiations with the company who won the bankruptcy property. They had really no idea what they had purchased. They came to us and made us an offer to buy the property for $850,000. We rejected. We countered with an offer of $400,000, which they rejected. And we were continued in negotiations at that time. He talked about the BK, that it would be finalized the following week, and we were hoping to learn more, and we know that obviously finished up. They're not. The company that bought it talked about they were not interested in running the store, and said that we'd have a town hall meeting our next Saturday, the following Saturday, and the attorney would be present. Talked about Jackie Verba, that started a petition to get Caltrans with Caltrans regarding needed improvements of the Highway 79. Caltrans responded favorably, and at that point they were planning to put in more turnouts in the near future. He did talk about the increase in the dues for this year at that time. It was not something we wanted to do, but unavoidable due to the rising cost. We were working very hard to keep costs down, to do as many repairs as possible in-house. At that time, we purchased a new credit card machine so owners can pay their HOA fees with the credit cards. Unfortunately, one owner went to the Attorney General with a complaint about the convenience fees, and because of this, they decided not to accept credit cards, and they accept debit cards. Last week, or the week prior to the meeting, they had an owner that slipped in an unlicensed, uninsured person to do work on their lot. The person ran into the guest's motorhome and caused thousands of dollars in damage. He ran from the scene and was wanted by the police. We increased our efforts to enforce the insurance requirements of any contractors coming into the park. Board works countless hours to ensure the right decisions are made for all the owners of the resort. He asked and thanked Debbie and Jerry and Don for their service on the board. He asked the audience to stand and express their gratitude for countless hours of all the benefits that they provided. John then asked the new board members to be allowed a honeymoon period to ease into their positions. He also thanked his wife for understanding and patience. She's a saint. And again, thanked each owner for their confidence in the board. Jerry then called Rita Fick, who announced the results of the election. There were a total of 346 ballots that were counted, and the results were Ted Arnold had 179, Mike Brown 175, Scott Rich Gruber 135, Joe Crispino 110, and Suzanne Smack 69. Jerry thanked all of the candidates for running and then thanked the election committee for their service. John Schaefer thanked Debbie Stokes, Don Lyman, and Jerry McLeese for their service on the board. The newly elected members then got together with John and myself to pick their positions. John Schaefer remained as president, Mike Brown vice president. I took over as a treasurer. Ted Arnold was secretary, and Scott Rich Gruber was member at large. The annual meeting adjourned at 9:30. Make a motion to adopt the minutes from 2015. All in favor? Aye. Motion granted.
Okay,
At this time, I'm going to ask John Schaefer to get up and talk about 2015, his letter about what's going on and what happened and all that. A lot of it was recapped, but we're going to talk about it again.
Good morning. I know you don't want to hear me drone on about the ranch again, because I'll do that for anybody anytime you want. But to say that we live in interesting times would be an understatement. In the past 12 months, we've started and completed numerous projects. They range from repairing and replacing septic systems, to upgrading the electrical in the first 2 phases, which is finally finished, to resurfacing the tennis ball, pickleball courts, and still more were completed. We just about wrapped up the purchase of the property, and we'll shortly begin cleaning up the mess in the restaurant and the store. The entry road will soon be worked on, and the parking lots on both sides of the big clubhouse. They'll be resurfaced. We're working on a major drainage project. It's not a big project as square footage goes, but it's complicated because of its location. The difficulty is compounded. Pardon me. Because of the build-outs, the size of the existing drain pipe, and where do we put the water. Our civil engineer has reworked his design several times, and it appears we're close to a solution. Our website was redesigned, thank you, Scott, and looks great and has, the last time I looked, it was well over 2,000 hits. I don't have any idea where it is now. Okay, what's next? We need to begin serious talks with the potential operators of the restaurant and the store. We need to go on a taste test of the restaurants and the folks who are in the running. The restaurant and the store needs cleaning and painting. The new operators need to decide what improvements they want and are willing to take on. They need to arrange for those changes and to get their health license. Before any of that, we have to work out the details of the lease, the rent, the cost of improvements. We need to redesign the kitchen in this building. We need to finish the timers on the irrigation plant. That'll require a fair amount of trenching on the golf course. We need to finalize the maintenance building and get permits from the county. On Wednesday, we received a notice from Diversified that the close of escrow has to be extended 30 days. And here's the reason. It's nothing to do with them. It's nothing to do with us. The title company's already signed off on it. It has to do with the county engineer that was reviewing the plan. He went out on long-term disability. I'm telling you, if timing could get worse, I don't know how. The good news is that the guy from Diversified has already called the county, and he's trying to shepherd the thing through because they want it done way more than we want it done. I was surprised how anxious they are to get this finished. To make it even better, the guy that I've been dealing with is no longer there either. So John Hadley, who was our contact at Diversified, he departed, and I don't know that it was his choice. So now that we've talked about some of the completed projects that have been completed or in project or future plans, let's take a look at last year a little bit. 2 years ago, at the end of 2014, we had $2,340,950.97 in our reserve account. We're good at spending money because in 2015, we spent $357,438.38 on reserve account repairs and replacements. So that's the cost of everything being replaced or major items being maintained or replaced. And that money, let's see, $461,760 was deposited in the reserve account fund, and that's from your monthly dues. Because we invest the reserve funds in CDs, we received $11,860.90 in interest. So you know, we have a financial plan with the bank who handled this, and we have CDs that don't come due until 2022 because we get a great interest rate on it, and they're always watching where our money goes, and they report to us periodically as to how they have invested. That brings our year-end balance in the reserve account to $2,457,134.49. That's an increase even after the expenses of $116,183.52. I don't think we've done a bad job of managing your money. We need to post additional HOA information. In the next 30 days, we'll have the final 2015 financial audit as conducted by our accountants will be completed. We'll publish that audit. We'll put it on the website. That audit covers our reserve fund and our operating account. In other words, they audit all our transactions and all our accounts. The audit is performed using standard audit procedures, and we're going to publish again the prior 2 years' audit. The new board will definitely have its challenges. The first, they have to learn how an association functions, which is a little bit different, and how things get done, and numerous other issues. In the next year, we really need to review the CC&R's rules and regs and other governing documents. As with the past board members, we'll start an intensive orientation session. Please allow them some time to understand the workings of an HOA before bombarding them with questions. Now, it's time to say goodbye and thank you to a board member. Janisa served her sentence, term, and been a supportive member, always putting the ranch first. Please help me thank her for her service. In the next few minutes, the results of the election will be announced. To those who are elected, congratulations. To those who are not elected, congratulations. Think about it. To those who are, regardless of the outcome, thank you for getting involved in your community and wanting to serve. From your current board members, Mike, Janice, Scott, and myself, thank you very much.
I know Janice has read the minutes from last year, and I'd like her to talk about the financials that John just said, so we can approve those from last year. We don't have them pass out. They're in the process right now of being finalized, so.
We're just making a motion to approve from the fourth quarter. Make a motion to approve the fourth quarter financials from October, November, December.
And I approve.
All in favor? Thanks. All opposed? They are,
Okay, they'll be posted. At this time, I'm going to turn this over to Rita again.
I don't think in the 10 plus years that we've been doing this up here as a team, we've ever had such a close election. So it was just amazing to all of us as we counted ballot after ballot and checked and double checked. Mike Chase, 261 votes. Denise Peterson, 244 votes. Scott Richberger, 245 votes. John Schaefer, 217 votes. And Tommy Gomez with 146. Thank you, everybody.
Well, those are the results. I'd like to thank all of us that have been up here. John, for your 6+ years up here running things for everybody. Thank Janice again for her 2+ years. Scott, you're still on, so I can't say nothing. So at this point, we're going to take a short adjournment. We're going to have to go up and decide on the who, what's, whys, and how. So it'll be less than 5 minutes, maybe less than that. So while we're gone, I'd like to have you guys run up, grab a donut, and sit back down. That quick. And then, okay, we're going to take our seats so we can get this concluded. Okay, again, as I stand up here, I'd like to thank again John Schaefer, Janice, for your services. And as you all know, this is is not a thankful job. It's a thankless job that people put in a lot of hours up here. So we really appreciate the fact that the new board members have decided to step up to the plate and put on their flak jackets and their helmets. And I'll tell you, I tried to borrow one from Mike Chase, but he would not lend me one. So with that in mind, I would like to announce who the people are. So I can sit here and say, this chair here, let's say is the president. Let's call in for Mike Chase. Scott Rich Gruber will be the treasurer. Denise Peterson has really accepted the position of secretary. Mike Diaz is still in Indiana, so when he gets back, we will be having a meeting with all 5 of us, and I have remained as the vice president. With all that in mind, I'd like to welcome them. It's congratulations to these guys. They have a big job ahead of them, and we'd like to have a motion to conclude the meeting.